So let's take you through the two versions that have essentially played out in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. It started, of course, with the governor refusing to address the House, as is the norm, and then going ahead and staging a walkout. He's done this in 2025, he's done this in 2024, and previously too, it's always been a bone of contention. And as, in fact, we get you those details of really what's played out, you had Governor Ravi saying that his mic was switched off repeatedly. Now, Chief Minister Stalin hit back saying the governor is trying to stall state administration. And this is because you had Governor Ravi saying issues linked to people were ignored in the address. So he says, I don't want to read out the speech because of the text that was in it. Now, Chief Minister Stalin has said that essentially what was given in the speech, the text of it reflected what the people of Tamil Nadu felt. This was their voice, essentially, that the governor refused to speak. The governor called all of the claims made in the speech as misleading, said it was full of inaccuracies and unsubstantiated claims. Now, to that, Chief Minister Stalin has said that this is an attempt once again by the BJP to centralize authority and to take away power from the state via governors. This has been, in fact, one of the big showdowns. Now, also what Governor Ravi has said is that there have been fake claims made of mega investment, to which Chief Minister Stalin has said that there are attempts by the governor to interfere in non-BJP states in state matters. Let me bring on this broadcast our panelists. We've got Salem, Dharani, Dharan, spokesperson of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, K.V. Dhananjay, advocate of the Supreme Court, and we have K.C. Palaniswamy, leader of the AIADMK. Mr. Dhananjay, I'd like to begin with you on what exactly is considered constitutional here. For the governor, when he's speaking in an assembly, is there room for him to kind of reject the speech that's handed over to him by the state?
Absolutely not. And this is a scripted speech, and we follow this convention from what we've seen happen in the UK. It's called a King's Speech. There's also a very popular Hollywood movie by that name. The governor reads out a scripted speech, and the speech will always be congratulatory to the government of the day. So for the governor to say that there were inaccuracies doesn't make any sense. It's entirely possible that people would be dying of hunger, and it did happen in UK. There was a time when people were dying of hunger because there was no food to eat, and yet the government wanted to congratulate itself. So it wrote a speech that was very congratulatory, and the governor simply had to read it. I mean, the monarch there, the king, had to read it in England. So why do we have a problem here in India? It's meant to be a scripted speech, and for the governor to say that there were inaccuracies here or that some things were exaggerated just doesn't make any sense at all. Now, it's understandable if the governor had a problem with the speech once, but now, looking at your broadcast, it's like the governor has had this problem 3 years in a row.
Yeah, third time.
And that essentially, yes, 3 years in a row, that's a lot. So the governor seems to be creating an issue here. The governor, ought not to be doing any of these things.
No, but I want to understand from you also, Mr. Dhananjay, is there room for misrepresentation or for going ahead and understanding what the Constitution says in a different manner? Because if the governor is repeatedly doing this and there's nothing that's been done about it, third year in a row that he staged a walkout, is there room for misrepresentation of what's being said in the Constitution?
Well, the Constitution is quite silent about it. So this is a convention. So this is a healthy convention that we've followed from England and from many other Commonwealth countries that believe that this always is a healthy tradition. I said convention and also tradition. Tradition because it's been followed for a very long time, hundreds of years. So, at the start of the agenda, you have the governor or the monarch come forward and address the gathering. How? Through a scripted speech. And the scripted speech at the end of the day is always going to be inaccurate. How objective can it be? And does it make any sense for the government of the day to hand over to the governor to read, a statement that's critical of the government? It's never going to happen. So the governor, I think, is misreading the Constitution, or he's being wrongly advised, or the fact that, it's happening 3 years in a row also means that the governor seems to really not understand his proper role under the Constitution. And there's a larger context here. The larger context is the fact that in Tamil Nadu, a good number of bills were not being assented to or approved by the governor for a great deal of time, years together. And this matter did go to the Supreme Court, and we've seen the controversy in the Supreme Court in terms of one bench saying that it shall deem to have been automatically approved, and a larger bench saying that that cannot be the case under the Constitution. But notwithstanding the disagreement in the Supreme Court itself over the issue, the fact, however, remains that the governor of Tamil Nadu has done something very unusual, which is to not deal with bills as and when the bills were presented. So if you look at this conduct with that I mean, if you look at what's happening now in the context of what's happened before, it looks like the governor, unfortunately, is setting a very unhealthy precedent. And if this goes on for years, it's entirely possible. For a state like Tamil Nadu might say that we will dispense with this governor's address, because if they were to dispense with it, they have not violated any provision of the Constitution. So who would be the loser then? The loser would be. Right now, our Constitution presupposes that the governor would be an individual with integrity and an individual who has no political affiliation and who will strive to be as neutral as possible. So if states start boycotting governors and not invite them to deliver these customary speech, then it's more like, the states too would have pushed governors to a role where, they are more like proxies for the center, where center is by one government, by one political party, and state is by another. So I think it's largely the governor's fault, notwithstanding that for him to say that the mic was turned off. Well,
No, but
it's
this
a
is the
small
third
gathering.
time. This is the third time that, he's gone ahead and staged this kind of a walkout for different reasons every single time. I'll bring in our political panelists also. We've got Salem, Dharani, Dharan of the DMK and Mr. Palnisamy of the AIA DMK. Dharani, Dharan, to you first on what played out today, because the governor right now says that, look, there was an insult to the national anthem, that there were mentions in the speech that had inaccuracies, and that's why I chose not to speak and not to read the speech out.
See, this is boring because every January or every time the Tamil Nadu Assembly convenes, this is the same drama the governor does, and I have to come and explain the same thing time and again. Firstly and foremost, let's get it very clear. First, the Tamil Thai Waltz is played, and after the end of the ceremonies, the national anthem is played. This is how it has been suggested by the government of India itself. This is how it's been happening in Tamil Nadu since the 1950s itself. It's not happening today, it was not happening yesterday. Even during ADMK regime, first Tamil Thai Waltz, then at the last national anthem. Even year before, on the similar protest, the governor walked away. Even then, we clearly explained to the governor, listen, this is how it has been happening even during ADMK's time when BJP was in alliance with ADMK. No problem. And another question is, the governor is not elected. He is appointed. He has only duties and no functions. And it is custom, his address is very similar to the Queen or King's address in the UK because we follow the Westminster system. Have you ever seen the King or the Queen digress from the speech or the President of India digress from the speech?
No, fair point.
It is the customary opening remark.
Fair
so
point.
Why is this
I'll bring
governance
in... Yeah, let me bring in. You've raised a couple of points, Dharani. We'll take it issue by issue, but I'll give a chance to Mr. Palnisamy to respond. At this point, looking at what was said...
I want to complete my argument.
Yeah, okay, Dharani, go ahead.
This is not the first time that has happened. A year back, he digressed from the speech. Now we see what is written is not the truth. Let's assume it is not the truth. But he does not have a say in saying this is true, this is false. Person so as to highlight his message, thereby spreading misinformation and spreading fake news. That's what I accuse him of.
Okay.
Accuse him of spreading misinformation and fake news.
Okay, Mr. Palnisamy, your response. Now, can anything really justify what the governor has done? It seems almost as if, he's looking for an excuse to stage a walkout.
No, whatever the concerns raised by the governor regarding the governance of DMK government for the past 4.5 years, he should have left that to the opposition leader, Mr. Edappadi Palnisamy, to raise those things in the assembly. Basically, governor has taken the powers as an opposition leader and he has spoken on that. Having he kept quiet, he has left it to the opposition leader. Mr. Edappadi Palnisamy might have said all that in the assembly record and walked out of the assembly. That would have been more of a smart political move. But
no,
what
so
is
Mr. Palnisamy, what you're suggesting is that the governor is acting like the leader of the opposition. You're suggesting the governor is acting like the leader of the opposition.
No. Yeah, it's almost. Because whatever is the omissions, commissions, corrections in the governor's address has to be pointed out by the opposition leader. That's not the job of the governor. That's not the job of the governor. Even if he had not, Mr. Edapadi Palaniswamy, who is the opposition leader, might have done it. That's their job. Today he has taken that in his hands, which he has given a scope to the DMK government when elections are nearby, just 100 days. So DMK is making it as a big political issue, as usual, in the Dharavan, something like that they are trying to create, trying to use it for their advantage on anti-BJP. So rather, governor who should have stick on in his core agenda as per the convention, had he left this to Mr. Edapadi Palaniswamy.
No, but the allegation here, the allegation, Mr. Palaniswamy, the allegation here from the DMK is that the reason the governor is doing this is because he is doing it at the behest of the BJP, of your ally.
No, see, forget ally. See, there is a, in a Dravidian movement, DMK, ADMK, both are the Dravidian parties. We have a convention for all these years, how the assembly has to function. The governor has to go by that convention. Whatever the issues raised by the governor is the job of the opposition leader. That's not the job of the governor.
This is a rare occasion where I see the DMK and the AIADMK on the same page. On the same page as far as what the governor did is concerned, staging that walkout. The AIADMK therefore agrees that it was unwarranted, the walkout.
Don't take my views as the ADMK party stand. It's my view that. Don't take that as an ADMK
so you're representing the AIADMK on my panel. You're representing the party on my panel, sir.
No. I am an ex-MP of AIADMK and this is my view and I am not representing the party there.
Dharan, your response right now. You know,
don't take that as my view as the party.
Dharan, your response to the charge that, you know, the DMK is making this political.
Asking for a right, making it political. As I said, in a Westminster system, governor is nothing but a ceremonial head. The elected government by which the 8.4 crore people of Tamil Nadu has elected the MLAs and Dharan has elected Chief Minister and was established his cabinet. So whatever is written on the speech is nothing but the voice of the 8.4 crore Tamil Nadu people because it is prepared by the cabinet. Cabinet indirectly represents the voice of the people. By digressing or refusing to read that, he is insulting the people. To AIADMK, if Mr. K.C. Palaniswamy's view were that of the AIADMK, I would have been happy to an extent and then would have gone on to ask the next question, why is it then the opposition leader who is in alliance with BJP has not questioned the BJP government saying you should call this governor back? And why is this only happening in states ruled by non-BJP parties, or rather parties in opposition to the BJP? Why has it not happened in Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat? Can you tell me in the 25 years in Gujarat Assembly, has any governor digressed from the speech given by the elected government? Even one occasion? I can say in all socio-economic metrics, Gujarat is bad. Right? Or bad, or rather in relative terms, that's worse than Tamil Nadu. We have seen bridge collapses happening in Gujarat. We have seen a lot of crime happening in Gujarat. Why has the governor not refused to speak there? Or why has he not digressed? Or why has it not happened in Madhya Pradesh when BJP is in power? Or in Bihar when BJP is in power? Why is there one constitution for BJP rule states and one constitution for non-BJP rule states? This is travesty to democracy. And any leader, be in alliance with BJP or not in alliance, should go and question this to the BJP for the sake of the democracy. Until and unless democracy exists, only then the parties will exist. If there is no democracy, parties don't exist. This is erosion of democracy, wherein an appointee who has nothing to do with the people, is completely disconnected with the people, is doing whatever he wants to do. If at all governor is going to advise a government or run the government, then why do people have to elect a state government?
Before I bring in Mr. Dhananjay, Mr. Palaniswamy, you know, you've told us what you personally think about what's played out in the assembly. As a member of the AIADMK, what does the AIADMK stand on what happens, sir? Because the allegation constantly, as Dharan again has said, is that this is an attempt by the BJP to meddle in state affairs.
No, whatever the allegation raised by the governor is a perfect allegation. This government lacks in all that. There is no doubt on that. It would have been more appropriate had Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy given the chance to raise all that in the assembly. Rather, governor has taken that in his hand. So that has given a scope to the DMK party to make it as a political issue, that too when the elections are close by.
Okay, Mr. Dhananjay, I'm going to give the final word to you, sir. With this current situation that's been playing out right now, and it's happening in multiple states, of course, you know, of the government versus the governor, of the governor constantly stalling the assembly, staging walkouts. We've seen this play out in several states. But legally, is there also a recourse that states can actually explore, can look into in such a circumstance? The third year in a row that we're seeing the same situation play out.
Well, no, this would be one of those few matters where one can't just go to the courts at all because this is non-justiciable, number one. Number two, this is unfortunately a very unhealthy pattern. It's not just in Tamil Nadu, it also happened in Kerala, and in Tamil Nadu, it's 3 years in a row. We've had sporadic instances in the past. In 1969, you had the governor in the West Bengal Legislative Assembly refused to read certain statements because in his view, it was inaccurate. And there was, in fact, some realization afterwards, and we didn't see a repetition of these kinds of events. And now we are seeing, unfortunately, a plethora of them. I think it's important for the center to consider recalling the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu because this is setting an extremely unhealthy precedent. And this is not defensible at the end of the day. And I'm so glad that, you know, the individual, the person representing AIADMK was not in a position to defend it because it's not defensible at all. It doesn't matter what political party you belong to. But this is setting a very unhealthy precedent in this country. And the fact that it's happening in opposition ruled states vis-a-vis the center, I think that's even more unhealthy. And my respectful request to the central government is, please take steps to recall the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu. He's setting an extremely unhealthy precedent.
Agreed. It's setting an unhealthy or wrong precedent right now because you particularly see it in certain states that aren't BJP ruled right now. But I'd like to thank our panelists for joining us on this broadcast, Mr. Dhananjay, Dharani, Dharan, and Mr. Palaniswamy. Thank you for joining us.